What you think you know about the world might just be a fragment of what really is, and you might be shocked at what really exists in the wild. This video gives an insight into that. Some facts we are better off knowing. Maybe the content of this video falls under facts that we shouldn't know about, but you wouldn't be able to shrug off the last fact.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all of these on Reddit. Albert Einstein is one of the most brilliant minds we have ever seen on Earth. So naturally, when he passed away, scientists wanted to study his brain to see if there was something different about him. But Albert Einstein had one dying wish. He did not want his brain to be studied, stating, "There's nothing special about me, anyone can be a genius." But despite this man's dying wish, his brain was still harvested and stolen and hidden for nearly a decade. It was eventually found and then split up and given to several different universities where now it's kept in a jar. A couple from Missouri finally scrounged up enough money to be able to move into a house together, but their dreams quickly turned into nightmares. The house was infested with thousands of venomous brown recluse spiders, and after further investigation, it was discovered that there were almost 5,000 brown recluse spiders in this home. And finally, let's say you have a group of 10 friends. Scientifically speaking, out of all of you, one of you will die before the age of 40. And I know a lot of my facts are really dark, but that's why.
One of the scariest witches to have ever walked the earth is the Bell Witch. This is the story of the Bell family and the curse that continued years after the first mistake was made, and this is not a mere story.
Do you want to hear about a really scary witch? Good, I thought so. This is the Bell Witch.
Back in the 1800s, a farmer named John Bell moved his family to live along the Red River in Tennessee, now known as Adams, Tennessee. After moving into their new home, the family had a dispute about land with their neighbor, Kate Batts. She was strange and was rumored to be a witch. John reportedly cheated her on the deal, and before she later passed, she promised she'd get vengeance on the Bell family. Shortly after, the Bells started noticing some really strange things happening on their property and in their home. They would hear noises such as a woman whispering, knocking along the doors and walls, chains rattling, something gnawing at the beds, and dogs barking. And things were getting progressively worse. From 1817 to 1821, the Bell family was being constantly haunted by an invisible entity that was able to speak, affect the physical environment, and shapeshift. It could also travel long distances with super speed. She became known as the Bell Witch and was thought to be the spirit of Kate Batts, coming back for revenge, just like she said she would. They asked the spirit what it wanted. It reportedly answered, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but have been disturbed." The haunting centered around the Bell's youngest daughter, Betsy. The spirit caused her injuries and went after John Bell himself, who began experiencing paralysis of the mouth. Strangely, the spirit took to John Bell's wife, Lucy, and would give her fresh fruit and even sing to her. The entity ultimately poisoned John, and he later passed, and the Bell Witch continued to pop in and out of the family's lives for years. Many believe that when the witch departed the family, she fled to the sanctuary of this cave on the property once owned by the Bell family. The Bell Witch Cave has been an attraction to paranormal fans for years. The Bell Witch has been the source of a lot of mystery and interest throughout the years. And if this sounds familiar to you, this is the premise to movies like The Blair Witch Project and An American Haunting.
What are your thoughts? Would you want to visit the Bell Witch Cave?
What is the possibility that a house gets burnt to the ground and there's a picture that remained untouched? Not one house, but many. Find out in this video.
Here's some of the scariest cursed objects that actually exist. Part 5. The Crying Boy painting was created by the Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin in the 1950s. The painting quickly became popular, thus being mass-produced and hung in many homes across Britain. However, it was eventually reported that many of these homes mysteriously caught on fire, some of which burning to the ground. If this wasn't scary enough, the painting was found in most of the houses, all untouched by the raging flames. The house fires were all believed to be coincidental, but the untouched paintings remain unexplained.
Do glitches happen away from electronic appliances? Can glitches happen in real life? If you claim that it is impossible, how do you explain this plane remaining in one stance and making the noise of movement?
Alright, everybody sees me walking. I'm walking. Look. This plane isn't moving. It's not moving. But it sounds like it's moving.
If it wasn't caught on camera, how do we know it happened? This Ring camera shows us how fast the progression of this house on fire happened. Why did it cover the building so quickly? We'd never know.
Creepiest video caught on Ring camera PT.13.
We are you. We are what you hide from in your bed every night. These were the last words of one of the 5 prisoners of war, subject to an experiment of staying awake for 30 days. What really happened between those days? You're about to find out.
What happened to these 5 prisoners during the war? In the late 1940s, Russian researchers held 5 people awake for 30 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. On day 5, did the prisoners begin to experience insanity and paranoia? Things appeared to going downward. On day 15, there was complete silence. But when they started to flush the chamber of the gas, they heard screaming. When the scientists entered the chamber, they saw a real-life representation of hell in front of them. The prisoners had torn their ribcage apart and cut out their organs. Some of them were still alive, and they begged for the gas to be turned back on. They were locked back into the chamber, but one of the researchers wanted to know what had happened to the prisoners. So he entered the chamber. The last subject was questioned, "Who are you?" And his response was, "We are you. We are what you hide from in your beds every night." So,
how scary would it be for you if you were to be diving underwater in a cave and you come across a warning sign that tells you to save yourself from death and turn back to the water's surface?
Scary things found in the ocean. This underwater footage uploaded to YouTube on the 15th of May 2012 shows 2 people cave diving in Mexico. As they continue to dive around, that's when they see something that would send shivers down their spine. Within the dark water, they see a sign that says, "Prevent your death, go no further." Although the sign is helpful, it would still be terrifying to see if you're diving through a deep underwater cave system.
The Paris Catacombs. If you are unfamiliar with the history of the catacombs, you should know that it is an underground tunnel from the 18th century used to solve the problem of shortage of burial spaces. But something strange is going on in the catacombs.
what is going on in the Paris catacombs? For those who are unfamiliar, the catacombs are a network of underground tunnels lying under Paris, which have existed since the 13th century. The catacombs were built in the late 18th century to help with the city's cemetery shortage problem. There are approximately 6 million bodies buried in the catacombs alone. The tunnels that make up the catacombs are between 150 to 200 miles long. The place is naturally associated with a lot of spooky stories. During the French Revolution, Philibert Despert was serving as a doorkeeper at the military hospital when he unexpectedly disappeared in 1793. His disappearance was not solved for many years until his body was found in the catacombs in 1804. Furthermore, in the early 1990s, a man filmed some footage of Paris catacombs. The footage begins pretty and remarkably with the man investigating the catacombs. However, as the video progresses, the man begins to move faster. He eventually starts running. He ultimately drops the camera in a panic before fleeing into the darkness. Sometime after that, the footage was found by a group of cataphiles. Was this just a hoax, or could it be real? And even more important,
what if there is a portal to hell right under our noses? What if someone had messed with the occult and had accidentally severed the gateway between Earth and hell? This castle is said to be that portal, and no one knows who built it.
This castle is hiding a portal to hell. In roughly the 13th century, the Huska Castle was built, but what is strange is that nobody knows who built it. However, it is rumored that the castle was built to keep something from getting out, specifically from hell. Okay, so it is said before the castle was built, this site was used for occult practices and rituals, and one of them accidentally opened a portal to hell, leaving behind a massive hole. And in an attempt to keep whatever was in the hole from getting out into the world, someone built a castle around it. Authorities desperately wanted to know what was going on inside of the hole, so they offered pardons to criminals who dared to go down. But only one man was able to do it, and after returning back from the hole, he had aged into an old man and actually lost his mind. So, does this castle hold the portal to hell?
Many planets have conspiracy theories from conspiracy theorists, and this one, without a doubt. But what if it's not far from the truth? What if someone or something is watching the Earth from the moon?
Somebody might be watching us from the moon. On November 20th, 1969, Apollo 12 purposely crashed the ascent stage of its lunar module on the moon's surface. But scientists got their mind blown when the moon rang like a bell, indicating that what we thought we knew about the moon was not true at all. In ancient civilizations, the moon seemed to appear out of nowhere, as if someone placed it there on purpose. But the question is, who did it? And more importantly, where are they now? Are they living inside the moon? And is the moon just a satellite for aliens to observe us? This is kind of terrifying, and next time you look up at the moon, just know someone could be living there watching us.
There is something about animals in the wild, and that is that no matter how long you have known them, they might switch up on you at any time, like in this video.
Scariest close calls with animals. This video shows Adrian Deschreiber hanging out with gorillas he had known for years, and he was very comfortable around them. Adrian felt so comfortable around the gorillas that he decided to actually pick up one of the babies. However, this was a big mistake, and the other gorilla was not happy at all. The other gorilla started getting extremely vicious because he wouldn't put the baby down, and so he charged at Adrian. Thankfully, Adrian dropped the baby gorilla just in time because he would have easily been killed by the power of the other gorilla.
How terrifying were the occurrences in this clip? Tell us about it in the comments below.